What's up guys, BC coming back at you guys with yet another Transformers video review, and today we are continuing with Dinobot week. Today is day 6 and we are doing it on Snarl from Age of Extinction. Now from what I understand, a version of this is being re-released in movie style colors and I believe it's for the Transformers ride. I'm not 100% sure on this. I'm pretty sure some of you will correct me in the comment section down below. So yeah, he is a Stegosaurus, as Snarl should be. I don't mind the green nearly as much as I thought I would. He definitely doesn't look as weird as some people probably would have suspected. I dig him myself. Even though, to be fair, I am generally pretty easy to please. Just, if you're gonna do a Snarl, make sure he's a Stegosaurus. And if you're gonna do a Stegosaurus, make sure I can recognize the Stegosaurus as Snarl. And for the most part, I recognize this as Snarl. So with that said, I'm going to get this out of the way right now. That piece sucks. And it's not particularly this piece in of itself. This is actually a decent piece. What sucks about it is there's this little translucent tab right here, and it goes into a slot right here, but due to the fact that this is a bunch of translucent plastic trying to attach together, it doesn't really fit. Like, I got it somewhat fitting snug, but as you can clearly see, it doesn't take much to knock it off, and that's a real bummer. What else is a real bummer is for transformation, you split this. If you lose this and this, the whole, well, okay, you could probably get away with not having this, but if you lose this, your whole Dino mode is pretty much ruined. So with that said, this folds out, this folds open and then slides up in here. That is about as far as it goes to form his axe, which I feel he's got the most badass weapon out of all of them. Because this is just a giant freaking murder axe. Now to move on with the rest of the figure, the tail comes out and tabs into the shoulders. He's got an opening dino mouth. And, you know, Strafe had it too, as well as, Slug. As you can clearly tell, the dino mode articulation isn't all that important. Bring these leg pieces down, split them in half, and you can see the false dino head in here, which basically is how you're supposed to know how this is supposed to line up. Bring the foot forward and kind of lock it into place right there. And then the legs come up and they tab in up here. The little dino legs just come up and tab in up here. Then you bring these pieces out like this to form the robot shoulders. And then this piece folds up and clicks into place to lock his waist into place. This piece, now you can, if you want to, you can just fold this back and leave it there, but specifically for this figure, you're supposed to fold it out like this. Flip up the head, and there is Snarl in robot mode. Actually, no, not just yet. Okay, you gotta rotate these pieces around like this, and then fold his hands around. And we'll get into that. But there's his robot mode. Now aesthetically, he's badass looking. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. I really dig his the overall aesthetic of his dino mode. Not his dino mode, his robot mode. He gets the night motif across, but at the same time he has just enough G1 in him to allow you to recognize him as Snarl. He holds this piece just fine, no worries. Because, you know, my issues isn't exactly with him holding the weapon. My issue is the fact that he can't really use it. And that's what's going to segue into his articulation. That's basically been my whole thing with the Dinobots as of late. They can't really use their weapons. With that said, he's got a ball joint at the neck, not very mobile. He's got dual hinge swivels at the shoulder, which I probably should point this out. This piece is on a separate mushroom swivel for Dino mode, so it allows it to move. Mine's extremely stiff, which is why I didn't show it off in Dino mode. He's got a bicep swivel, which is nice. He's got an elbow joint, which again, I hate that curling arm thing. And what would have made this perfect is I could have lived with the gap if you would have gave me a proper wrist swivel. He's got an up and down shoulder rotator. And again, the only thing I can think of that this would be useful for is if he's pointing the axe out like that. But here's the thing, you don't point an axe out like that. Even though that looks really badass. If he would have had a sword, this would have made sense. So with that said, he has no waist swivel due to how he transforms. He's got a ball jointed hip, a thigh swivel, a really, really good knee bend, and his feet twiddle. So there you go. There's Snarl. You know I'm going to do that with him again because, you know, hey, you know what? That's actually starting to grow on me now. Okay, so apparently you can point an axe forward and make it look badass. So there you go. There's Snarl. I really like him. I really, 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 really like him. Aesthetically, like he's aesthetically very pleasing. Just articulation-wise, he really falls short, especially here in the arm department. With most of these here's my thing. With most of these Dinobots, my biggest freaking issue with them is the fact that they can't really utilize what they got going for them, and that is their robot modes and their weaponry. You know, yeah, you're buying them for the Dino modes. Just, it kind of bugs me that none of these guys can really use the weapons in. Hello.